Okay, recording this video on Thursday, the 29th of September 2016. It is just 11:07 a.m. Chicago time. Done my trading for the day. Hope you are too. Going to talk about crude oil in this video because, dear friends, the glorious day, I think, is upon us. The rally in crude is finally getting underway. Kind of driven by some positive kind of fundamental news out of OPEC. But before getting on to the crude charts and related charts, just want to talk about the last couple of days trading on the E-mini. We've had some really nice setups. Just going to show you on the system side. This is the 500 tip bar chart, multiple time frame system view. This is TradeStation, but just FYI, I haven't kind of blabbed about it much. But the NinjaTrader version, the beta version of the NinjaTrader indicators, is out and available on the website. So if you're interested, kind of go have a look at that. But anyway, so today's activity, let me just pull it up. This was the open today, and we had a really strong rally into the latter half of yesterday, kind of driven primarily by crude. But anyway, so that was the rally yesterday that kind of topped out this morning with a pullback to end of trend move. We had exhaustion buy, there it is, bearish divergence kind of comes in, we test back into that resistance level, nice little pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame goes off, we got cyclical resistance on the intermediate time frame, everything kind of comes in there. So the cyclical levels are telling us we can't punch through there, volume is telling us that we've run out of steam, and then we've got blue professional up bars here and a whole series of them into those highs, bang bang bang, kind of going on. So the professional activity is kind of lining up. So time to get short, and I got short on this breakdown here. Short 61.75 out at 57 1/4 for 4.5. That was a nice little trade. There was a little bit more in it, kind of down here, but I was just glad to be in and out, kind of quick, neat and tidy. We might kind of go back up and kind of retest a little bit and maybe come down again kind of later today, but that was kind of the best trade for me today. Yesterday we had a couple of legs to this. Let me just show you this with yesterday's trade. So yesterday's trade, we'd gone pullback end of trend the previous day, and we were just busting around these really big cyclical swings, but you can see coming into that resistance at the beginning of the day, whole bunch of blue professional bars, bang 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 bang. We couldn't get through, we kept on, so we had a pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, that's a little grey dot there, pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame, the slightly larger white dot there, cyclical resistance comes in, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence flush, and we roll, bang. Really nice low risk entry point kind of comes in there right on that retrace, almost kind of touching the high. That was a beauty there. So I was short at 54 1/4 into that move, and out at 48 1/4 for 6 here, but it ran a little harder than that. But that was really nice. And then we kind of snuck up on this long crude trade here. So we had our exhaustion sell, bullish divergence flush, 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 flush patterns kind of going on here. We'd had pullback end of trend on the intermediate time frame. We had an initial break, then a little bit of weakness, and then bang, we busted into this big trending move here. And you can see we were led by the professionals kind of through there. Actually, you can't see that on that time frame. Let me just pull up the 4500 tip bar chart. So there, bang, and then they took off when they started kind of buying through, jumping the creek at the highs of the day there. They were active at the open, kind of selling it down. They picked it up here. They bought the breakout. I think there's a blue professional bar there, and then this one, bang. And then today's activity, we have blue professional bars into the highs, and then we kind of had a bit of a U-turn here. We're kind of going back up to test. Remember those blue professional bars on the 4500 tip bar chart, really, really important. So we'll always check those. Anyway, so that was kind of day trading over the last couple of days. Been fun. But crude, dear friends, I think is rallying. And I've been waiting all year for this, and now it's the end of September. I thought it might kind of pick up kind of the beginning of kind of midway through the year. My hypothesis was that it was going to test into the lows in the first quarter, sell off and test into the first quarter, test into the second quarter, and then start the rally in the third quarter. And it's taken a while to kind of get around to that. We've been working off this cyclical energy pull back to end of trend, and it's not completed yet on this time frame. Let me just turn this one off so I can disable that. So here's the pattern. This is the exhaustion cell as we kind of crashed through, 100, bang, getting the move going. And then look at all this exhaustion cell. This was at the beginning of the year, January, December into January, all those exhaustion patterns kind of down there. And then so we went into a big kind of ranging mood, kind of 35 here up to 55, and then kind of crack down. But this is what's kind of got me interested over the last several days. We have a U-turn here, so blue professional bars picking it up at the lows, and then the next day they jam it up, kind of getting this thing going. We go through a little bit of kind of cyclical consolidation here, but you got all these blue professional bars kind of stepping in. The ones that I like are the blue professional down bars into that area where it's just holding and holding at kind of 44, and then the last last kind of two professional bars, another U-turn, they jam it down, and then this is yesterday with the news, they just buy it all up, so they're all in at kind of 45, 46 kind of here, and we've got a nice kind of continuation today kind of going on. So time has run out. We hadn't had a nice little pullback to end of trend go off on the highest time frame, but we've almost exhausted all of that time, and that's what that the better sine wave indicator on that highest time frame was telling me. So that's what the professionals have been doing here. We know that we've had our exhaustion volume kind of going on, and trend moves are set off by explosive volume kind of getting the move going, and then they finish with exhaustion volume, kind of big volume patterns, big ranging bars, the beginning and ends of moves. So although on the trending system it's still kind of white bars showing weakness here, we have support on the intermediate that's not been broken, support on the low time frame that's not been broken, and those are both held, and we're kind of going on. So at some point we'll get resistance printing on both those time frames. We need to bust up through there, but this could be kind of the beginning of that move. Really important day. So how to play this? I missed the rally in gold and silver back at the beginning of the year, and there was a whole bunch of ways to play the rally in gold and silver. You could have done it with the futures, you could have done it with the ETFs, you could also have done it with the miners, the gold and the silver miners, and the junior miners, the gold and silver kind of junior miners, which tend to be kind of higher beta, higher kind of volatility kind of trades. With crude, similarly, there are kind of different ways to play it. You can play the straight ETF, which is USO, and you can see that's kind of almost the exact same pattern as the CL futures contract. There we go, bang bang, kind of taken off today at $9, $10, kind of busting through there. So that's one way to kind of play it. Again, on the system view of this, hasn't quite kind of broken into an uptrend, but we got all the makings of that with those support levels kind of holding and so on. So there's the USO. You can kind of get aggressive, go for the triple leveraged ETF, which is I think it's UWTI is kind of the ultra, the triple kind of going into that, so you can play it on that. But there's also, just like you got the gold and silver miners and the junior miners, you can also play this with oil services and oil exploration. This is OIH, which is the ETF that covers the oil services. Oil services are the guys that provide the rigging and the drilling equipment, all of that kind of stuff. I don't know, I suppose they provide the crews and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, they're showing exactly the same type of pattern with, let me just disable this, again, nice U-turn, blue professional bars kind of taken here. And there might be a little bit more kind of leverage in these. I haven't looked at kind of what the highs and lows are, but OIH is another way of potentially playing this into a rally, and again it's not it's still showing kind of weakness here, but we've had those two supports kind of hold, and we're kind of busting up there. The other one is the exploration. Exploration tends to be a little bit more volatile, and again the same pictures kind of going on here. Let me just turn this off, and there we go, kind of a U-turn bang going on there, and it's busting above resistance. So again, system view actually showed some strength in that over the last few days, and just a fraction, a weekday, and all of a sudden we need to kind of bust up through resistances again to kind of turn this thing into an uptrend. But it's the same deal. It's like exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence kind of comes in, pull back to end of trend on the on the lowest time frame, a left shoulder, on the intermediate time frame, the head of that move, and then pull back to end of trend for the right shoulder here on the highest time frame. And it's played out in terms of time. It's not printed end of trend, but time wise we've run out of time, and now it's busting up. So you got exploration as well, that's XOP. You can kind of play that. The other one that's kind of out there is natural gas. Natural gas kind of kind of plays alongside crude to some extent and tends to be far more kind of volatile. The only thing I'd say with natural gas, although this has been signaling into a trending system, so we had exhaustion sells, bullish divergence, flush patterns, then pull back into trend on the intermediate time frame. This exhaustion buy, short covering rally, all of the shorts in there taken out on that explosive volume. We're just sitting around. There is some strength going on there since April this year, but at some point we will kind of find a resistance and play back down on natural gas, pull back to end of trend. That's when that cyclical turn on the highest time frame, those cross, and that'll give us some weakness there. But typically that happens when we have an end of trend. We have an end of trend move on the lowest time frame, and we're not breaking above those resistance levels yet, so there's some strength to go on natural gas. That's another way of playing it, and the way I am playing it is the Russian ETF RSX. I talked about this in a video a while ago. The reason for this is the Russian stock market is heavily exposed to oil and gas, and you've also got kind of the Russian ruble, which over the last 5 or 6 years has been heavily beat down and is starting to rally back up. So I got into this kind of a month and a bit ago at 1810 because we had all of this strength kind of going on, and it refused to play back down. And when it's hanging around in a channel like this and refuses to go down, eventually it kind of starts breaking through supports and the rally gets underway. So crude is kind of helping with that. We're busting up through 19 today, which is very nice. The other thing that's going for this is the Russian ruble is taking off. Now, this is the futures contract of the Russian ruble. There isn't in TradeStation a ruble currency, and there's not a futures currency on. I beg your pardon. There is a futures currency to plot on the ruble, but there's not a cash contract to look at on the ruble, which is a real shame. And then the data is really glitchy. Look at this. I mean, this is horrible. This is just a data glitch within TradeStation that's not been fixed. And I'm plotting the current contract, and it kind of goes back, and all we have is some price plots, but no highs and lows and so on. So it's a way of looking at the currency. But what's happening here, you can see, I mean, this is the massive sell-off that we had from 26, 27 down to 12, kind of on the way down here. And so this year and last year it kind of bottomed, but this year, no, am I talking rubbish? Really, basically this year it bottomed at 12, and we're heading back up. We're at 15, and you can see it's just busting through these resistance. And if you look at that on the trending system, it's all kind of good. It's all red, showing us we're in an uptrend. So we got an uptrend kind of going on the ruble. We got crude kind of breaking back up. So that's why I'm playing RSX as my choice for this on the crude play. So there we go. Good day kind of yesterday, interesting with what was going on with crude, and I think that is finally the signal that things are going to kind of take off to the upside. Who knows how strong the move is going to be? I mean, we've had some mega rallies in crude in the past, and some big kind of downtrend moves, but yeah, who knows. What I'd be looking for is breaks of resistance to kind of confirm that we're in an uptrend, and then this should run till we get exhaustion buys wherever that happens, and then we'll kind of start to lose it a little bit on crude. But anyway, there we go, an important day, Wednesday, the 28th of September on crude. So hope your trading's going well, and looking forward to Friday tomorrow. Okay, just gone short 54 and a quarter, short 54 and a quarter. Slow start today because we got Yellen speaking at 9. It's just gone 9:06. Presumably they've kind of scanned the transcript of her speech, blah blah blah. Reason I'm going short, end of trend's finally gone off. We got on the system view weakness here, end of trend on the lowest time frame, bang, end of trend on the intermediate time frame here, that's the bigger dot. We've got some weakness, we're sitting out of support. We just broken support on the lowest time frame and the intermediate time frame just there, if we keep kind of going, and then potentially we've got the support on the highest time frame to go. So that exhaustion buy kind of came at the open. Usually like to see that kind of during the day, not right at the open. But anyway, Rambo pattern here, getting wrong-footed amateurs trying to go short for the breakout, not going to work. So let's hold on, see where we go next. Alright, we just tested back up, bounced off support and broken back down. So we bounced off that Rambo pattern. It's another Rambo pattern here, but it's getting interesting on the way down now. So that's all kind of working out. We've got a single break going on at the moment. At some point support's going to come in on the 1500. Blue professional bar lowest time frame, but this has got to go exhaustion. The kind of reading that we had, what is this, about 6,000, that's pre-open, so we should be going for a 6 or a 7,000 on the way down. So let's hold on. Okay, just move my target up, 48.25. Reason for doing that, we've not seen any blue professional bars on the downside yet, haven't seen an exhaustion pattern. It's kind of getting there. We've got hung up here. But these flush signals are playing off this exhaustion sell, which was kind of back here. We've got to see another reading like that on this way down. We're just having a bounce from there. That'll be an end of trend go off on the 500. But again, no blue professional bars here. All we've seen is Rambo patterns. Systems still short. And again on this thing, no blue professional bars. These are the last ones we saw. So, and those readings are not extreme yet. There it is, just gone off end of trend. So you got a little bit of a reason to bounce there. Double support in there. Okay, petroleum numbers just come out, 9:30, and caused us a little bit of volatility here. Rambo pattern, amateur on the way up. No blue professional bars yet at the bottom, so still holding short. No exhaustion sell. Just got to work out this cyclical strength and then wrap around hopefully. System still showing weakness, got a flush pattern there. Blue professional up bar, so I'll break the lows of that, show they're selling that little bit of strength hopefully. Okay, my target's at 48.25. Original target was 50.25, we just got hit. We've got an 8,000 read, and we've got blue professional down bars, nothing on 45 yet. Some point we'll go support on 1500. We're starting to see those exhaustion sells on 500. Just trying to, there we go, that's a decent read kind of down here. So this on 500's probably got to go pull back end of trend too, so just trying to squeeze a little bit out of this. Bingo, just taken out 48.25, excellent for 6. Very happy with that, and it's just happening around an end of trend on the 500 tip bar chart. We've had an exhaustion sell, blue professional down bars coming on 1500. So nothing on the 45s. So there we go, nice. It might travel a little bit further, but we're looking like a bullish divergence kind of pattern going off, so it's want to be out around there anyway. Excellent. Keep watching it, but not sure where we're going today.